Shalom everyone. Yesterday I was sent a video to watch, and at the end of it thought it was a really great video, something that I actually did agree with. Interestingly enough, Islam also agrees with it, but despite what Islam thinks, I think we as believing men and women need to be more aware of this and be more obedient to Yahweh and really be working hard to be set apart as we are told to be. And so I thought I would do this video, hopefully a quick video, just to speak on about some points that were mentioned in the video that I watched. And of course, as you can see from the title of the video, it has to do with watching our eyes, which I think is very important. I think we are to eventually get to the point where we do stop looking at unholy things, at immodesty. And of course, I know it's easier said than done. I know that perhaps, in my opinion, it is somewhat easier for women to look away and lower our gazes and not look at immodesty, whereas, we also know that men are wired differently, and so it is somewhat harder for them. And, in today's society, in the world that we do live in, it's kind of not even a surprise anymore that men are looking at all this immodesty because of the way, unfortunately, women in today's society choose to dress. And so I think it is quite important that we as believers watch what we watch on the internet and also where we go, where we choose to go in public. And it was suggested, in the video that if you were invited to a party, whether it be invited by a friend or a family member, if you know that there's going to be a lot of immodesty there, to simply just not go. And, like I said, it is easier said than done, but we do, somewhat need to limit ourselves. And we need to watch our eyes and watch our behavior and be, really, truly modest men and women. Now, I personally, for instance, I really thank Yahweh for this. I thank him for putting it on my heart and, making me this way. But I literally have no inclination, no need to look at another man. I just don't care. So I'm really thankful for that. Like, I literally just look away, look down. I don't even look. So I'm really grateful. Not only do I, not look, but I sort of limit myself in even speaking to another man. So yeah, I'm really grateful for that. Now, if only, the same can be said for all the males in today's world. But as I said, they are wired differently. I do understand also where they do come from, that, they do have struggles, that they are struggling with these things, especially with how women do tend to and choose to dress in today's society, unfortunately. Excuse me. But I think we do need to work on what was said in the video. We are to not allow ourselves to be allowed to go to any place of immodesty or even look at, immodesty or immodest women or men, for that matter. I think we need to get to the point where, if we are doing that, and if we are, if it is a struggle in our lives, to really take that up in prayer or fasting. But it is something that, I know even many women have said in the past that, they feel disrespected if they're with their man and their man or husband, is looking at another woman in public or, the like. And I think we as believing women need to be honestly more understanding, more loving, more kind, and really pray for our husbands if that is the case, instead of, causing fights or arguments or, thinking quite negatively of the situation, because we are all only human. And yeah, so I think, the person in the video also said that they don't even go to the mall anymore, because at one time they had gone to the mall and 30 seconds later the person just went out of the mall. And he sort of said that the mall and the beach are kind of the same thing, where it's just half nakedness everywhere. And unfortunately, that is the case. That is kind of true, especially, as I keep saying, in the times that we do live in. And he also mentioned that if people were going to these mixed, dancing parties where there's immodesty, that in itself can be a place of a cause of problems for married people, where it can lead to adultery and cheating. And so we do need to be aware of our surroundings and really do our best to please Yahweh. And if we are struggling, pray, fast about it, and let Yahweh work that out in your life. But we are to do our bit and at least attempt and try to look away and not look at unholy things, not look at the immodest behavior or dress that, unfortunately women choose to adhere to. And so I thought, at least bringing it up and doing a short video would at least, help someone, especially women too, who are upset at their man, upset at their husband, thinking that, he's not walking with Yahweh, that he's not a, leader because, hey, he's looking at other women, as, upsetting as it can be. We do need to be, as I said, more understanding, more loving, and, more supportive in their struggles, what is clearly maybe their struggles. And so, yeah, I kind of hope that this at least helps a little bit, just to be aware of, women's dress, but also the behavior of both men and women in the world due to immodesty, and that we need to each do our part. Women, put some clothes on, as I always say, as offensive as it might be to you. But we do need to not only take Yahweh seriously and his word, but really try and live it out. We don't have time to play around. We don't have time to be narcissists or feminists. You either agree with Yahweh or you don't. You either want to follow him or you don't. And we all know by now that, the males and the females are made differently, and we need to be somewhat more understanding of the males and the struggles and problems and, issues that they go with or go through when it does come to, unfortunately, immodest dress. But as believing women, we also do need to do our part and dress the part, as well as live out the part. And that includes dressing modestly, dressing in a way that will not cause men to stumble or have any dirty thoughts towards you, and just, pray and support your husband instead of thinking the worst, because we all have struggles. None of us are perfect, but I think it is something that needs to be worked together and, even spoken more about. Whether it's, my husband's looking at another woman or other women in public, or, my wife is dressing immodestly, or, all of that stuff. All of this needs more speaking about, because at the end of the day, we do need to be more set apart. We do need to be different than the world. And if we are claiming to be believing women, we do need to also do our part and act differently, think differently, and of course dress differently. And if you're going to be offended and keep saying, well, the man shouldn't be looking, well, maybe you should dress in a way that they don't look at you, or they don't look at, other women, if that makes sense. But I think so many women these days keep arguing, keep complaining, keep making excuses, keep blaming the men, and not really realizing that they too could initially be a problem too, with not only the way they dress, but with their behavior, with their thinking, with their thought process. And so, yeah, I think I kind of went off topic for a bit, but it sort of all ties together, I think. So I think, just to, without offending more people, I'm sure I'll do that in my future videos more. But I think I sort of want to end the video at this and say that, once again, that we do need to watch our eyes and watch our behavior, whether it be male or female, and really be true, modest men and women in our speech, in our behavior, in our dress, and in our thoughts. And so, yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. And thank you for watching. And until next time, shalom.